So, Pokemon Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield, come on. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet have recently gotten a second trailer. And this one simultaneously reveals a lot and also not a lot at the same time. So we're going to do exactly what I did before and sort of break it down a bit. Except I'm not going to give as many predictions this time. I'm mainly going to be going off of kind of what the trailer seems to show. So, sort of predictions, sort of hypotheses, theories, I don't know. Basically, we're going to be going through this trailer, and I'm going to be talking about how I feel about each aspect, and what I feel might be coming up when the game inevitably gets released, because it's going to be releasing in early November, because that's the other thing we got, is an actual release date. Also, I apologize, my hair is wet, I just got out of the shower. I was literally asleep when they launched it. I think I woke up, like, right as they were releasing it. Because I woke up and it was suddenly America recommended. So I was like, oh, yes, I gotta watch this. So yes, my hair is soaking. Because I literally just got out of the shower. But, regardless. Scarlet and Violet. So, first off, we see in the trailer, immediately, what is the first thing we see? We see the battle system, I believe, first. Which, the UI, I love. It looks cool. And while at least so far, it doesn't seem as animated or lively as the Sword and Shield UI was. You know, like how the UI had like all those like swirling animations and such for every menu option. But, you know, that could change, or it could just be that we're literally only seeing what the bare options look like. We're not seeing them actually like, navigating it yet. So, you know, there's that. The second thing from the trailer that they showed pretty much immediately after that, along with the CGI models of the starters, was the online features, which I am already in love with. For those that don't know, I have a girlfriend. She has not appeared on the channel as of late, unfortunately. But she is still with me. We're still together. And we play games a lot together. Typically we play games like Minecraft, Humans Fall Flat, just the general, like, online connectivity types of games. And it has been a struggle to get her to play Pokemon. Pokemon is just one of those things that she just doesn't happen to be interested in herself. I very clearly am interested in Pokemon. So, it's just been one of those things where the only way I'll be able to get her to play it is in the ones we can play together. Like, she showed some decent interest in both Let's Go and Sword and Shield, because those are games that we could actually, like, play together and not just trading and battling. But, you know, I was already moving on by that point. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl had been released, and so while I was willing to go back and play with her, it just ended up being a thing where she didn't want to, and so I didn't make her, whatever. But now with this game, she has no excuse. I'm going to be buying her the game, and I will also just additionally do whatever I need to do to get her to play it. Because in this one, you can actually play together with your friends. Specifically, you can connect up to 4. You can connect up to 4 total players. So it would be like me and 3 other people. And you can just traverse the world together. They show in the trailer that it doesn't look like this is confined to just one wild area, which is where this feature first showed up in Sword and Shield, where you would be able to do that, but only in the wild area and not in like other parts of the map. But it looks like in this game, because it is a more open world Pokemon game, that you can just go everywhere. You and your friends can go into everywhere, the towns, the wilderness, all that sort of stuff. Though admittedly, we only really see them in the wilderness, which just seems to be a theme throughout these trailers. The first trailer seemed to only show one town, and now this trailer doesn't show any town aside from what looks to be the walls of the town we already saw. So it could just be a thing where this just happens to be a region where there isn't a lot of big cities. But additionally, we do see some extra clothes. However, everyone's still wearing, like, the tie and such, which I'm not necessarily a huge fan of. I don't like ties. I don't really like how they look, personally. I don't like wearing them, especially in real life. But, you know, if that's the limitation, that's the limitation. Every Pokemon game has had some limitation when it comes to the customization. You can never just 100% do any outfit you want. Like, I know, like the backpack in Sword and Shield always had to be the same. But, you know, as long as there's at least a decent amount of customization, I'll still be fine. I just personally love character customization. That's just a thing with me. Also, I apologize, that is the AC. It is getting hot. So you'll probably hear that on the background more often. I'm sorry. That's just how it's gotta be. But anyway, back to Pokemon. While it doesn't seem like there's this whole crazy ton of customization options, again, that could also just be because of where they're at in the development. Maybe customization is one of those things they're saving till the end, and they're working on making sure everything else is good and refined first off, which is fine. You know, customization with those features is nice to have, but you don't necessarily need it. I just vastly prefer it. And know a lot of other people vastly prefer it, but, you know, if it's not there, it's not there. It's one of those things. It does look like you'll at least have, like, winter outfits and such, because we do see some characters using, like, actually wearing, like, jackets, gloves, and a hat in the winter area. So, it seems like there is at least some level of customizable clothing. So that should be fun. But, regardless of looking into the clothing, the other major thing we see is it looks to be the first view of the gyms in the game. Because in the game, toward the end of the trailer, they hone in on these 3 locations, which is some sort of volcano pit arena looking thing. Okay, so I just feel the need to explain myself here. When I said the volcano-looking arena area, I was actually talking about the one that actually looks like a garden. On my first pass of the trailer, I wasn't paying crazy much attention. I was just kind of enjoying the experience. And so on my first look, before I was editing and looking at it again and all that stuff, all my eyes saw was like the browns and reds of the picture. And so I had assumed that it was some sort of volcano-ish, mountainish area. But upon actually looking at it, it's kind of obvious it's actually more of a garden. So when I say volcano area, that's actually what I'm supposed to be talking about. So I'm sorry for that, if that's confused anybody. But yeah, I just felt the need to clarify that. My bad. Some sort of fiery gate, which also seems to be in that same volcanic area. And then also a giant tower that's just in the distance of what looks to be the desert, and of a desert area. If I had to speculate, which you know I do, I would say this is our first look at the gyms of the game. Like, this is where we'll be going to either to get whatever this game's equivalent to a gym badge is, whether they are going to the sticking with the gym system or not. We'll see. But still, really cool. We also see some brand new Pokemon, like this little Bud, which honestly, as I keep thinking about it and keep looking at it, it looks very similar to the designs of Seedot or other Seed Pokemon. So or not Seedot, Budu. That's what I was thinking of. It reminds me a lot of Budu. So this could be either a completely new Pokemon, or it could be this region variant of the Pokemon. If we do have a region, I'll put it in right now. I'll edit it in if I can find it. But right off the top of my head, I don't think we actually have a name for this region yet. But regardless, we do see, while that one's questionably new, we do see some confirmed new Pokemon. Like this little tearful pig, whose name, according to the trailer, is Lechonk. Or Lechonk, rather. Which is both funny and unfortunate. But, regardless, I'm definitely picking that one up, because that one just looks interesting. And other than that, we don't really see, we also see this, which, as far as I know, we don't have a name for. I'll put it on screen if they do show off the little name tag. But overall, it seems to be this generation's Pika clone. For those of you that don't know Pokemon, every generation has a Pika clone or a clone of Pikachu. So, Johto had Pichu, and then had Pichu. The Hoenn region had Plusle and Minun. The Sinnoh region had Pachirisu. The Unova region had Emolga. The Kalos region, yep, that's the next. The Kalos region had Dedenne. The Alola region had a couple, because it had Togedemaru, and then it also had a Alolan Raichu. And then in Sword and Shield, that's the next one? Yeah, that's the next one. And then in Sword and Shield, or the Galar region, we had a, it's right there. It's right there. It's right there on the tip of my brain. We had Yamper. Yamper was the Pika clone of that generation, I believe. Unless there was a more Pikachu-like rodent that I'm forgetting, which could be possible. But anyway, and now we have... Oh, wait, no. Alola also had Mimikyu, first off. It had Togedemaru, and then it had Mimikyu. And then the Galar region, Sword and Shield, had Yamper, but then it also had, it was just there. It's Marnie's Pokemon. I'm drawing a blank on its name, though. It's Marnie's Pokemon. Her signature Pokemon. The one that's always with her. Why can't I think of its name? It's not the Dene, it's... Morpeko. It's Morpeko. Why was that so hard to think of? Anyway. And now it seems like in whatever this region is, we have this one. Which honestly looks kind of cool. I kind of like it. It kind of looks like a stuffed animal type of thing. And I could see it being a good Pokemon. It looks fun. It looks at the very least fun. But anyway, enough brain farts for one day, I hope. Let's go in. The next Pokemon that we gotta talk about are the legendaries. At the very, very end of the trailer, we see the two legendary Pokemon of this region, who we still don't have names for. That's the theme of this video. Just no names. Nothing has a name. But these seem to be our legendary Pokemon. And earlier in the trailer we also see the professors of this region. So with both the legendaries and the fact there's two different professors, it looks to me that the theory that a lot of people had is going to be really true, which is that this game is going to take an immense focus on tradition versus technology, where we're going to have one side, which seems to be the Orange League based on all the colorings, that is going to be, because we do know that there's rival schools. They said that on the website. So it looks to be like one school is going to be the Orange School or the Scarlet School or whatever, which is going to be more traditional and more like this is how you do it traditionally. Whereas on the other side, you're going to have the purple school, or Scarlet, or not Scarlet, or Violet, who is going to be who is going to be a lot more technology focused, as you can see from his shirt and Legendary. Where maybe they're more focused on, say, like using items to. So this could be like, for example, maybe on the traditional side, they believe in Pokemon getting stronger more naturally, like through breeding, or things like that. Whereas the other side maybe uses a lot more items and has a bigger focus on using items rather than just the other way. Rather than just leaving it all to breeding. I can see that being a thing, and I imagine in the story it's going to be a thing. The two sides are going to have to unite, and they're going to be like, oh, you're not so bad after all. Because we saw that in Pokemon Legends Arceus. We saw that in many games throughout the Pokemon franchise. Whenever they have two rival evil teams, or just two rival teams in general, they always seem to come together by the end of the story. So, you know, there's that. And then at the end, we get this one more odd shot. Because they reveal the box art, they reveal the release date, and then we get one more odd shot of just a Pokeball flying through this weird silver-white crystal area. Which we do see something like this earlier in the trailer, where they show trading. Because they're kind of showing that you can trade with anyone that's in the world, no matter where they are. By having one Pokeball sent shooting across the region, and then another one shoots back to the other person. So and then now we see again, and now we see that same sort of animation of like energy coming off of the Pokeball as it's shooting across the sky. But now it's in this weird crystal area. So maybe this is some sort of space-time distortion type thing that like other people have speculated about. I'm not entirely sure, because who knows? It could be reference to the third Legendary. And so, it's just one of those things. There's a lot we don't know. There's a lot that we want to know. And I don't think we're going to know it until we either get another trailer, or more likely, because it's only 6 months, the new Pokemon game comes out. Which, I imagine how they're going to do it is we're going to get another trailer like within 3 months of the release, or maybe even right as it releases, just as a kind of final showing of what's coming up. And then we're going to get the games. So I mean, I could be wrong. They could do more trailers than that, but I only see them doing 1, maybe 2 more trailers based on when the game's coming out and how often they've been turning out trailers so far. Which again, we don't know. They could just be gunning it now, and now they're just gonna go all the way to the end, and they're gonna release a ton more trailers, revealing all the new information they make along the way. We don't know. But overall, I'm really excited for this new game. I really like how everything looks, because I mean, obviously this doesn't look the best, especially in moments where they zoom in on the ground. You can see that they're using some not so smooth looking shortcuts like they have in previous games, like Pokemon Legends Arceus. But overall, it definitely seems to be the best looking Pokemon game out of the Pokemon games. Like, if you compare it to every other Pokemon game, it has the most updated graphics and looks the best. But I don't think... And honestly, I don't know if Pokemon will ever reach the standard that people want, because a lot of people seem to want it to be super hyper-realistic, Skyrim, Elden Ring-esque graphics. But I just don't think that's ever going to be the way Pokemon goes. Pokemon's always been a cartoony franchise, and I think they're going to stick with the style they have now, and just maybe developing it further. In terms of making the style they currently have look smoother and better. Though, personally, I wish they would have stuck with the Sword and Shield looking style, or even the Legend of Arceus style, because this new one looks looks right on that borderline, where the features look a little bit too realistic for the Pokemon world, in comparison to everything else. Whereas, you know, at least in Pokemon Legends Arceus, you still have the bigger eyes and things that still kind of left that fakeness to it. Kind of like an anime or an action figure. So, whereas these ones look not quite action figure, but not quite full-on human either. And so it's just this weird uncanny valley. I would much prefer it if they went back to the bigger-eyed styles of the more recent games. Or if they are going to go realistic, just to go full-on realistic and not be in this weird muddled gray area. But, you know, Pokemon will do what Pokemon's going to do. I can't control it. I don't think anyone can at this point, because of how big it is. And, you know, for every person that says they want the more cartoony style, there's going to be one person that says they want the more realistic style. And ultimately, none of us are going to win. Pokemon's just going to do what Pokemon's going to do. But that's pretty much wraps my thoughts on the trailer. I'm excited, obviously. And I think that we have some good things in store. I look forward to seeing the more new Pokemon and finding out about the regional variants. Because they've been really creative with the regional variants recently. Because I'll admit, I wasn't too stunned by the Alolan regional variants. Because they didn't really change the Pokemon too much, necessarily. But especially with, like, Galar and things like that, they've gotten really good at the regional variants. So I'm kind of excited to see if they bring that back, and if they do, what other regional variants we'll see in this new game. But that's all I have today. Make sure to check out the merch on bonfire.com/store/Austin D Merch Shop. Because we have the regular designs, but then we also have these brand new Play Rough designs. So you can go check those out. And so I decided to check out the Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet official website, because typically the website will have more information they didn't put into the trailer. And so, first off, you can see the website's obviously been updated since last time. I showed it off in my previous video talking about Scarlet and Violet. But specifically what I wanted to show off here is, because, I mean, most of it was just the same, but if we go to learn more about the new Pokemon, first off, they show the partner Pokemon again, but then they also give us the actual names of our legendary Pokemon, which is Koraidon and Miraidon. So again, with the similar names, it looks like they're really going off of the one is just a different version of the other type of thing. Which I wonder, you can click them. Legendary Pokemon, Koraidon and Miraidon. Here we go. Koraidon and Miraidon grace the covers of Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet, respectively. Koraidon is a legendary Pokemon you can meet in Pokemon Scarlet, and Miraidon is a legendary Pokemon you can meet in Pokemon Violet. These two Pokemon are said to have powers that far surpass those of other Pokemon. No duh, they're the legendary Pokemon. But details about them are still shrouded in mystery. Which seems to relate to the professors. Because that was the other thing. Most of it just kind of confirms what we already could tell from the trailer. Which is that the professors are both researching into different sides of the lore of their world. So I presume that Team Orange, aka the more traditional-looking, tribal-esque professor, is going to be looking into Koraidon, and the other one is going to be looking into Miraidon. But then we also have new Pokemon, which is Pawmi, which is the Pikachu clone that I was talking about, which again, looks adorable. Lechonk, which we already talked about a little bit, and Smoliv, which is the one that I was speculating might be a Budew variant, but it's not. It's a new Pokemon. So let's see if we can learn more about these guys. Smoliv. So, it's the Olive Pokemon. It's a Grass Normal type. And it's used by our rival that we saw in the trailer, Nemona. Because it says Smoliv is one of the Pokemon used by Nemona, your friend. So I guess, yeah, they're going away from rivals. So now it's your friend. But oil's so bitter and astringent, it will make you flinch. The oil that comes out of its head has a very strong bitter taste, and it is not suitable for consumption. When startled or attacked, Smoliv will shoot this oil out, slowing its opponent down. It will then seize that moment to run away. So it sounds like it might have either the runaway ability, or some sort of unique ability involving its oil that will slow the Pokemon down and then also allow it to run away. Fine without eating or drinking. In the fruit on its head, Smoliv stores oil made from nutrients it gathers through photosynthesis. As a result, it can go for a week without eating or drinking. It prefers dry and sunny climates, and it seems to spend its days sunbathing. So that's the first new Pokemon. Let's go into one of my favorites already, Lechonk. Let's see here. Kind of looks like he's crying with the little detail under his eye. This one's also used by Nemona. And it is a simple normal type. I'm assuming this is the rodent of the game, and also I just realized they actually do say their abilities. So, my bad. A gourmand with an excellent nose. Lechonk uses its sense of smell to find and eat only the most fragrant wild grasses and the richest berries. As a result of its dining habits, it has come to radiate an aroma resembling herbs that bug Pokemon dislike. Timid and faint-hearted, but also strong. If attacked by an opponent and startled, it will charge forward in a panic. It may appear fat at first glance, but in reality, the Pokemon's body is mostly muscle built by constantly walking around in search of food. So there you go. And it's the Hog Pokemon. And now, our last one is Pawmi. This is another one of my favorites. I'm definitely adding this one to my team if possible, which I'm assuming it will be. And it's electric type, as we'd expect. It's the Pikachu clone. Static, pretty typical. We already saw it being used by Nemona, so we already knew that. Electricity discharging organs on its forepaws. In addition to the electric sacs in its cheeks, Pawmi has electrically discharging organs on its forepaws. It generates electricity by rubbing its cheeks, then it shocks its opponents by touching them with the pads on its forepaws. Thick fur that stores electricity. Not only is the fur that covers its body good insulation against the cold, but it also serves the purpose of storing electricity. When it feels uneasy, this cautious Pokemon will begin rubbing its cheeks, preparing itself to discharge an electric shock. So again, pretty cool Pokemon, pretty interesting one, Pawmi. And then we already looked into our starters, so we don't really need to look into that. And that's all the new Pokemon on the website. And really, the rest of the website just kind of goes over, again, things we already knew. Like, it talks about the open world, the fact that everything flows together, and it's a new adventure, explorative Pokemon experience. Right here is where it says it, the world of Pokemon has evolved. Which, again, I apologize for my slow computer. But, again, it's just, in the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet game, the newest chapters in the Pokemon series are coming to Nintendo Switch later this year. With these new titles, Pokemon series takes a new evolutionary step, allowing you to explore freely in a richly expressed open world. We already knew that. But, they offer an open world experience that only the Pokemon series can deliver, one welcoming even to newcomers of the series. Girlfriend, if you're watching this, I'm choosing not to say your name, because I know you don't like me to say your name publicly in videos. But still, if you're watching this, it's open to newcomers of the series. I gotta stop. Anyway, you can experience a new style of adventure, with a world that you're free to explore at your leisure, and not in an order dictated by the story. You will, of course, journey to hone your skills as a Pokemon trainer, but many more discoveries and stories await you. Meet a variety of people in Pokemon, and adventure in the world of Pokemon the way you want to. And then they just have a bunch of images from the trailer. And then they talk about the multiplayer gameplay, which is, again, you're teaming up with 4 people. And then I do want to talk about this, meet the characters. Because, like I said, the professors are kind of just what we already expected. But I do want to talk about our friend/rival. But here it just says, in Pokemon Scarlet, you will meet Professor Sada, and in Pokemon Violet, you will meet Professor Turo. Each is carrying out research into certain lore passed down in the region, which I'm assuming will be based on the legendaries. And now we have Nemona, a powerful Pokemon trainer, who we are told is our friend. And there's a couple interesting things about Nemona here. I think she has a synthetic arm. Because, first off, it's just weird in general to only have one arm have a sort of bracing. On top of that, while we do see her have normal fingers, the fact that she has a bracelet up down here and a bracelet up here almost looks like it's where her mechanical arm might start and end. And I say that additionally because of what it says. Right here at the end, which says, quote, "She has undisputed skill in battle, though it does also seem that she's not the best at throwing Pokeballs." So, it's just those weird details that it's like, why would she be good at battle but not know how to throw, but struggle to throw a Pokeball? And we see that only one arm has this weird glove/sleeve. So I think Nemona has a synthetic arm. I don't think she has a regular arm. Because you can even see in the actual screenshots from the game that it looks a lot more shiny than her clothes do, even in this extra style. And also it looks like she'll either be in our same school or maybe a rival school. Which is why, because we see her both in an orange outfit, which they're clearly depicting her in for the most part. But then she's also in a more purple outfit over here. So it seems like she'll just be either in the same school as you or in the opposite school as you. We don't know. But, yeah. So pretty cool all the way around. And honestly, not as much new information. Because a majority of it was just kind of stuff from the trailer that you can kind of suss out. Aside from the Pokemon details. But, yeah. So this is our new Pokemon games coming in November. Like I already said, I'm super excited. And, yeah, we'll see you all next week.